Hello everyone, bonjour tout le monde. Welcome to EFA86 on this Wednesday, June 17th. I'm going to point out the obvious today, and something's running afoul. I'm going to point out the obvious because something is running afoul. There's a gentleman in Ottawa, well respected, a restaurateur, 25, 30 years in the industry, again, well respected. His name is Tony Canonico. Tony Canonico has been pointing out the obvious lately in restaurants and the sadness of what's going on. I mean, again, this is a person with knowledge, training, and experience. When I talk about individuals that have what's behind them, they can talk about it because they've lived it, not just a lot of these people standing on soapboxes in the world right now that have no knowledge, no training and experience, but they were given soapboxes, they're given titles, they're given positions, they're running for freaking parliament, they're running for everything right in the world. But that said, this individual was pointing out the obvious. And yesterday, 41-year family of restaurants are closing in Ottawa. This is a nonstop, right? Not change the name Ontario, move it to California, move to South Africa. You're going to have the exact same conversation. This is happening around the world. I truly believe, Jean Guimilion, truly believe there's something running afoul here. Here's a restaurant in Ottawa. Those that know it, there's a beautiful landmarks. This in Ottawa right now, 41-year busy. You probably don't see this, but this restaurant here, this is a family that own 3 restaurants. It's on a byword market. Byword market, probably 150 years ago, people were meeting there to barter and change fur. Like this, there's a long-standing history in that area, and it's the Fish Market Restaurant, okay, the Coaster Seafood Grill, and the Wineyard Wine Bar Bistro. Landmarks in Ottawa, amongst other landmarks, are just shutting down. And these, what people fail to understand, a lot of these restaurateurs around your cities, your globe, some of them have put hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars into their businesses for new growth, new changes, restructuring, a new venture, whichever it was prior to COVID-19, and then it was shut down by law. By law, they were closed and they're losing everything they have, okay? Think about that for a second. The other thing Ontario is doing, it's banning singing and dancing on all patios this summer, okay? I'm not making this shit up, okay? Pardon my language here, but I'm not making this up. They're banning all singing and dancing. Remember, this is the same governments that allowed the entire time that all large conglomerates could have full operations, including your liquor control boards, including your cannabis, all ran by government, right? It's all illegal. Gambling is illegal. Cannabis is illegal. Everything's illegal. Everything's illegal unless it's run by government. Then it's legal. So everything was still allowed to run, right? So they all ran major profits. Some of those conglomerates, I mean, record-breaking profits, right? The entire time. Thousands and thousands of people standing in front of cashiers every day. That's okay, though. That's okay. Law enforcement, we talked about this in March, April, May, and borders here, sticking their face into your windows by the hundreds every day. And that never stopped, right? That was allowed. That was okay because they all have mystical, magical force fields. And then all these poor families that don't have the mystical, magical force fields, their restaurants are closed. Their patios are closed. No singing, no dancing. How dare you, right? How dare you? But you can march by the millions everywhere. You can march by the thousands everywhere. You can stand on soapboxes. You don't even have to have knowledge, training, and experience. You can be an absolute moron, but you're given a microphone and you can speak all you want and you can scream all you want and forget the restaurateurs. And here's my question out there to the obvious: where the hell are all you musicians? Where the hell are all you family restaurant business supporters? And I'm going to speak to Ottawa here. Where are all your Glee Bites and your Westboro individuals, all those out in communities, those little nooks that you so love, and you do everything to destroy any type of advancement in your communities, but you won't stand on soapboxes. You won't be standing on marching on the hills right now for your restaurants, for your small family. And I'm speaking to those out there. There's a hell of a difference when you're having a coffee at a bar owned by a family, little nook, having a beautiful breakfast, having a conversation with those you love and respect, than your big box franchise. And it's coming to a place near you. Mark my word on this. Every one of those restaurants that are closing, the large conglomerates are going to come in 10 cents on the dollar and going to scoop them up. They will scoop them up and be allowed to scoop them up. And all of a sudden, they'll be open, right? They'll all be open. And now, whether they extend the in Canada, that they serve the 8 more weeks of it, right? And there's a lot of people that need it, and there are those that are staying at home and loving it, right? Loving it, working part-time somewhere else, getting a full government salary, plus doing other things. And while those that were making $10,000, $20,000 a month to try to keep the overhead going, they get $2,000 and make it work, right? We're going to shut you down. We're going to keep you shut down. We won't allow you to sing and dance and serve. We're going to allow everything else to transpire because our big friends are coming in there to scoop you up. That's what's happening. And it bugs this HELL out of me that you musicians, all those that love their little corner nook stores and that kind of stuff, you're not standing on your soapboxes, you're not marching hills, you're not, and you may be doing it, but not loud enough. Man, you have so many loud ones out there for everything else going on, stuff that's not even part of our country, not even part of our fabric, and they're standing on soapboxes and giving microphones in our country for those individuals, right? But yet you won't stand up for them, for those that have served you, that have been part of your community, that have been 50, 100 years, giving, giving, giving. And mark my word, ladies and gentlemen, all those that have been cushioned and everything, eventually that bubble, remember I told you, I know government, they're going to build departments, they're going to build programs, going to build hundreds of millions of dollars for all this COVID-19. They're going to have so many measures and procedures in place for every category of mask, every category of walking, every category of breathing, every category of restaurant, every category of everything. They're going to have so much that bubble is going to eventually burst, right? And just like confetti, it's going to come down. It's going to come down like Hypocrisies. And eventually it's going to get swept away. And when it gets swept away, all those individuals will be laid off, right? There's going to be a lot of layoffs. And then where are they going to go? They're going to go to private industry looking for jobs. And the private industry, please look at your best. Look at your best of those that were loyal to you, those that were good to you, those that stood by your side, those that gave their time and understood what you were going through. And they said, we'll make this work. We'll be there with you because you've given me a job for 25 years. You've given me a job for 20 years. You've helped my family put food on the table. Thank you for doing that, and I'll be there by your side. And I know you restaurateurs, and I know you family-owned restaurants will remember that, and you will restructure and you will pivot. I've never seen an industry repivot so fast in my life because they're being screwed. They're being screwed to a wall by law. They can't even, like tickets in Ottawa. They were giving out tickets. They were giving out fines to those that tried to open their patios for people picking up their meals. Picking up your meal, sitting at your chair. Go ahead, use my chair. I can't do anything with it. Oh, I'll give you, but I'll get a ticket for it. $880 ticket. Thank you very much. That's what's happening in our world. And right now, you can't even do music. You can't even do singing. You can't even do nothing. But big box franchise is coming to a restaurant near you. Mark my word. And all those of you that I don't want to hear this down the road. I don't want to hear your lips moving when all these places are closed, and then you're going to say, "Oh, we should have." But you stood on the box for all those other protests, right? You stood with your thousands, you stood with your hundreds, and you march and you yell, "Oh yeah, you wear a mask. Sorry, you wear a mask. You take it off and you talk to each other and all that kind of stuff, right?" Pure hypocrisy. Pure hypocrisy going on within us, pointing out the obvious. Just pointing out the obvious. Jean-Guy Bourguignon, EFA86.